Hello, my name is Joy Villafranca, and I am a civil engineer with AECOM. In this video, I will talk about the design concepts at Whipple Avenue as they relate to the four rail alternatives. If you haven't already, please take a look at the video clip that describes each of the rail profiles being studied in Redwood City. To access the design concepts at Whipple Avenue, click on the blue icon at Whipple on the left-hand side of the table. This will take you to this window, providing you with two selections. The first icon takes you to an exhibit that shows a grade separation of Whipple Avenue for all modes of travel, motor vehicles, pedestrians, and bikes. This concept is the same for rail profile alternatives 1, 2, and 3 because the rail alignment and elevation at Whipple is essentially the same for all three. If you click on this button on the lower right, it will put you into full screen mode, and you'll be able to use your mouse wheel to zoom in and see more detail. In the profile view at the top of the page, the road is depicted in green dashed. In this concept, the tracks are raised about 24 feet and the road remains at its existing elevation like how it is today, but it will be repaved and restriped. This provides the vertical space needed for the road to pass under the tracks. Note that this profile view is exaggerated 5 times on the vertical axis. This allows us to see the elevation difference between the tracks and the road more easily at this scale. As we scroll down the plan view, the sidewalk is depicted in light blue and the road is depicted in gray. In general, access to existing driveways will be maintained. However, due to the track realignment, some property may be acquired to accommodate this design. To exit out of the full screen mode, click on the X on the upper right. In this view, you'll see a blue line with arrows at each end and a letter. These symbols and letter refer to a section cut or profile view. The arrows show the direction that the view is looking. You can access the section cut or profile view by clicking on the letter on the upper right under Selective View menu. If you click on A on the upper right, it will take you to a section view of Whipple Avenue looking towards the east. This typical section of Whipple Avenue shows the lane and sidewalk widths as well as the tracks relative to the road and sidewalk. To exit out of the section view, click on the upper right. The PDFs can be downloaded to your computer for future viewing by clicking here. Clicking on the X will take you back to the alternatives selection screen. The second icon takes you to an exhibit that grade separates Whipple Avenue only for all modes. From here, I will go to the full screen mode. In this concept, the tracks are raised about 11 feet and the road is lowered about 17 feet. This provides the vertical space needed for the road to pass under the tracks. The sidewalk is depicted in blue in the plan view, and the road is depicted in purple in both views. The intersection with El Camino Real is shown on the left of the tracks. The intersection with Stafford Street is shown to the right of the tracks, and the Arguello Street is depicted on the far right side. As we look at the profile, the road begins its descent west of El Camino Real and is designed with a relatively flat grade at El Camino Real intersection, then dips under the railroad bridge all the way through the intersection at Stafford Street and ends its ascent just west of Arguello Street. As previously mentioned, the intersection with El Camino Real and Stafford Street will be lowered and some property may be acquired to accommodate this design. A few driveways will have to be regraded to match the elevation of the depressed road, and these are shown in green dots in the profile and the plan views. Again, to exit out of the full screen mode, click on the X on the upper right. In this view, you'll see blue lines with arrows on each end. These symbols and letters refer to a section cut or profile view. The arrows show the direction that the view is looking. You can access the section cut or profile view by clicking on the letter on the upper right under Select a View menu. If you click on A, it will take you to a section view of Whipple Avenue looking towards the east. This cross-section of Whipple Avenue shows the lane and sidewalk widths, as well as the tracks relative to the road and sidewalk. The lane and sidewalk configuration along Whipple in this concept is essentially the same as in rail alternatives 1, 2, and 3, but the roadway and sidewalk will be depressed. If you click on B under Select a View, you'll be looking at a profile view of El Camino Real, looking west, with a vertical exaggeration. In this concept, the intersection with El Camino Real on Whipple Avenue will be lowered about 7 to 8 feet. If you click on C under the Select a View, you'll see a profile view along Stafford Street, looking west with a vertical exaggeration. It includes a plan view. In the plan view, the tracks are shown on the top part of the view. Whipple Avenue is running on the left side, and A Street is running along the lower right part of the plan view. In this concept, the intersection and roadway will be lowered about 17 feet. In addition, the intersection of Stafford Street and A Street will also be lowered about 3 to 6 feet. You can exit out of this view by clicking on the X on the upper right. The PDFs can be downloaded to your computer for future viewing by clicking here. Clicking on the X will take you back to the alternative selection screen.